Happy Friday, traders. Well, what a first week of trading for February. Some massive moves in the market. Look, the big news in the market overnight is obviously what's happening to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin off a whopping 12% last night. Now, we've talked about this numerous occasions that Bitcoin has been the weak link in markets. Never followed risk higher, never followed precious metals higher. It has been struggling for months. And now Bitcoin is off a whopping 50% from those October highs from last year. So look, we are 100% in a bear market. That is not debatable. So look, I would not be going out and buying dips anytime soon because this could go a lot lower. A lot of the Bitcoin bears, technically they're looking for targets down towards around about 45,000. But the real bears, they're looking for even lower, down towards maybe 25,000. So yes, look, bias, it's been working. It's either been short or selling any sort of retracements. And yes, further out, it looks as if we still have not found a bottom for Bitcoin. Michael Saylor, who owns Strategy, which is the biggest Bitcoin holder globally, his average price is around 78,000. And now we're down towards 60,000, 63,000 on the close. He is down probably close to 10 billion now on his Bitcoin shorts. The sharks must be circling for him. At some stage, if he is forced to sell, I would say that they could see a bloodbath out there. So Bitcoin's got a lot of problems at the moment. And the whole crypto space as well is obviously struggling on the back of this. Precious metals, wow, it's the only word you can say for that. Absolutely extraordinary moves on a daily basis, up, down, it's an absolute yo-yo. But overnight, bloodbath, silver down close to 20%, back down towards $70, huge moves, gold down around 4%. Look, it is super hard to hold a position, either long or short, for anything but the short term. The only real traders that are probably enjoying this are probably the pro day traders who are happy, to hold positions short term and just be in and out. So yes, if you are a directional trader, super hard to be trading precious metals at the moment. Because even if you have big stops, those big stops are getting triggered. And look, that volatility doesn't look like it's going to die down anytime soon. So certainly, look, you need to be very cautious. Dangerous market, trading precious metals. Now look, when you do have volatility, especially big red candles in a couple of different asset markets, generally what happens is that starts feeding into other asset markets and you get cross-market volatility. We started seeing that now in the equity space. So obviously what's going on in the crypto and precious metals really isn't bullish for risk. So we saw a classic risk off overnight, Nasdaq and S&P down about 1.3%. Look, I'd suggest that these really, yes, they're down, but they're not big moves yet. We're still really flying high at close to those record highs, and we haven't really seen equities have any sort of big risk off selling days. So I'd suggest that potentially if we continue to see what's going on in these other markets, that at some stage we could see a big down day in equity. So be very cautious being long equities at the moment. Because yes, you could wake up and those things are down about 5% on the day. So moving along, today on Friday we're supposed to get non-farm payrolls, but we did have a mini US government shutdown, so the BLS has rescheduled those for next Wednesday. So no big economic data that we're normally supposed to get tonight in the US. But we do have a big risk event, and that is the Iran and US talks in Muscat, Oman, 10 a.m. Muscat time. Translates to about 5 p.m. Sydney time today. Now look, Trump is demanding big things from Iran, and it's not just about stopping their nuclear program. Iran definitely looks like they're happy to agree to that, and they want the talks just to centre around that, but the US has got a list of demands, and they include basically reducing their ballistic arsenal, their ballistic weapons, and then also, not funding terror organisations in the region. So reducing their ballistic arsenal is something that certainly is going to be a huge sticking point for the Iranians, and something that they definitely might want to agree to. So it's hard to see that these talks are actually going to result in some sort of diplomacy. Look, if they break down going into the weekend, I'd imagine risk is going to get smoked. So literally, that's something that you really need to focus on this afternoon and watch out for. Crude oil, obviously, there has been a bit of a war premium built into crude. Obviously, it's trading above $60. These talks break down, obviously crude oil could spike again going into the weekend. Traders are going to get nervous that maybe bombs start dropping on the weekend. So yes, look, all eyes are going to be on, obviously, these talks at 5 p.m. Sydney time this afternoon. So look, a lot going on in these markets at the moment. Obviously, they are risk-off markets. They're exceptionally volatile, very dangerous markets. So you've definitely got to be cautious. And at the moment, I'd be trading on the risk-off side. But anyway, good luck. Have a great weekend, and we'll check back in with you next week.